guests, officers, chiefs, sailors, military members, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the commanding officer of Fleet Logistics Support Squadron 5-9, Commander Fellini, it is with great pleasure that I welcome you to this joyous occasion, marking the retirement ceremony of Lieutenant Commander Scott Chatty Kilgore. I'm Lieutenant Commander Marcus Lamar Walters, your Master of Ceremonies. At times, I will ask the guests to rise, military personnel to come to attention, and to salute as appropriate. At this time, please silence all cell phones. If you will, picture in your mind a ship sailing gracefully and silently into harbor. The anchor is set and the sails are furled. The crew prepares the ship for a ceremony and shifts to dress uniform. At the appointed time, the word is passed. All hands on deck. Side boys, stand by to hoist away. Bosun, stand by to pipe the side. This order has been passed on naval ships from the 1500s through today. Spanish, French, English, Dutch, yes, all navies of the world use the bosun, side boys, and call to bring aboard or send ashore all ship's company officers, visiting officers, and dignitaries, and VIPs. The side boys would haul on the ropes and raise or lower the boarding platform so officers would not have to climb the rat lines, which were hanging over the side and used by the enlisted crew. When going ashore or to get aboard, this honor was extended for visiting officers, dignitaries, and port officials. It was not uncommon for the commanding officer of the ship to order up the jolly boat, a crew of 8 strong-back sailors, side boys, and bosun, to send an old shipmate to his shore retirement, home, never to sail on naval ships again. All hands on deck was passed. Speeches were made about great victories, battles fought on the open sea, raging storms weathered, and voyages to distant and strange land with ports of call others only dreamt about. Then the commanding officer would present the retiree with a fine sword. The officer's mess would present him with a brace of fine pistols, a rifle or musket, or maybe a sea chest made of fine wood and bound in leather, smelling of rich mahogany and brass, lined with cedar. This was to protect the uniform he proudly wore for so many years. These gifts were to remind him of the ships he sailed on, the ports he made, and above all, to remind him of the crews with whom he served all those years. Will the guests please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing as the color guard parades the colors and the national anthem is played. Bosun, stand by to pipe the side. Lieutenant Commander, United States Navy, arriving. Fleet Air Reconnaissance Squadron 7, arriving. Fleet Logistics Support Squadron 5-9, arriving. Color guard, parade the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem, played by Kilgore. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem, played by Kilgore. Color guard, retire the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, American the Beautiful, played by Kilgore. Dr. Thomas Childs will deliver the invocation.
If you would, let's pray together. God, we thank you so much for this day, all the blessings you have provided us. We especially thank you for Scott Kilgore and his family, and his friends, his shipmates, everyone who's been a part of his life over the last 22 years of service. We pray your blessings upon not only Scott, his family, friends, and shipmates, but also all the servicemen and women who continue to sacrifice and serve around the globe to make our world a safer and better place to live in. We are very grateful. We also pray for their families and friends that they would be encouraged and remain strong in their absence. We thank you for all who are willing to give themselves, to give their lives to sacrifice on behalf of others to make this world a better place, including you, Lord, who we remember you gave your life for us, and we are grateful. We thank you for Scott. We thank you for the 22 years of his life that he has given. We pray your special blessings be upon him, not only this day when a chapter of his life is closing, but also that you might bless him and his family and friends every day into the parts of his story that he will be writing moving into the future. May he truly discover the deep peace, abundance in life, and abiding love that comes as he continues to serve you and other people and these new chapters of his life moving forward. In your name, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Everyone, please be seated. Military members not on flag detail may uncover and remain uncovered for the rest of the ceremony. Bosun, post the side, boys. Today we have the distinct honor of retiring one of our own, Lieutenant Commander Scott Kilgore. We are gathered this morning to witness the final moments in a very full and rewarding 22-year career in naval service. A career that included many operations, conflicts, wars, and humanitarian relief efforts. We are also gathered to say thanks to a good shipmate. Thanks for his many contributions which have made our Navy a stronger and more capable fighting force in our never-ending fight for peace in this sometimes troubled world. The retirement ceremony is a time-honored naval tradition where we pay tribute to those sailors who have dedicated many years of service to our nation and to defending the freedoms which we all enjoy. A person does not dedicate their life to just any organization, but to a way of life. We honor such a person who chose this way, the life of a sailor and officer in the United States Navy. Thanks for being the type of leader that has ensured the next generation of sailors and officers are ready to meet the challenges of tomorrow. Just as this is the end of one phase of his life, it is the beginning of another. So our gathering today also gives us the opportunity to wish him every success in the future as he looks forward to new challenges and rewards. I extend an especially warm welcome to Chatty Cathy's wife, Christy, his sons, Zachary and Ty, parents Patrick and Sherry, parents-in-law Roger and Gloria, his many sisters and brothers, nieces and nephews, and a host of friends here today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the commander of Fleet Logistics Support Squadron 59, Commander Paige Fellini.
Good afternoon. I'd like to break from tradition just real quick. Zach and Ty, that was awesome. That means a lot to everybody who did that. So how about a round of applause for Zach? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the men and women of the R-59, I'd like to welcome Lieutenant Commander Scott Kilgore's family and friends, as well as all current and former officers, chief petty officers, and enlisted personnel to the R-59 and the home of the Lone Star Express. It's truly an honor and a privilege to be here because today we witness the final stage in a 22-year Navy career and express our sincere appreciation to one of our squadron shipmates, Lieutenant Commander Scott Kilgore, his wife Christy, and their sons Zach and Ty. I would also like to express a special welcome to the Kilgore and Van Dusen families. It is a true testament to your support of Scott and Christy that so many of you traveled to Fort Worth to be here on this special occasion. It is also a testament to the fact that the decision to serve our nation for over 22 years is a decision that can only be made with the love and support of one's family and friends. So thank you to Scott's parents, Pat and Sherry, Christy's parents, Roger and Gloria, and all of the brothers, sisters, in-laws, family, and friends, both attendants and afar, that have made this 22-year journey with Scott, Christy, Zach, and Ty. I've been at the R-59 for a little over a year, and in that time, Chatty has impressed me with his commitment to service and his incredible work ethic. Aside from working long hours, developing, scheduling, and flying many of our missions, he was always the first to raise his hand when there was a volunteer opportunity or one of our own needed his help applying for a commissioning program. Chatty, I'd like to thank you for all of your hard work and the positive impact that you have had and will continue to have on the men and women of the R-59. Your presence in our workroom will be undoubtedly missed. But that just scratches the surface. So many of you here have served alongside or have known Chatty much longer than I have. And I'm sure the stories you could share, or at least the stories you're willing to share publicly in front of his parents, would offer us hours of entertainment. So to properly recognize Chatty, his family, and their 22 years of service in the United States Navy, I'd like to invite to the stage one of Chatty's longtime friends and fellow JOs from BQ3 so that he can introduce today's guest speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Commander Dan Allen.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Lieutenant Commander Dan Allen. Thank you for the introduction. It's a pleasure to be here honoring Lieutenant Commander Kilgore's retirement. For those of us that served with him, know his preponderance for talking. Chatty being his call sign. He went ahead and asked me to introduce Commander Schrader. For those of us that have served with Commander Schrader, he's a man that needs no introduction. So here we are. If we go through the bio real quick, there's a lot of highlights that we can take out of Commander Schrader's official Navy bio. One, he was born and raised in Minnetonka, Minnesota. He's a graduate of the United States Naval Academy. He earned a Bachelor of Science degree from in mechanical engineering, and then he went on to the University of Minnesota, where he earned a Master's in Business Administration. Eventually, he went through pilot training. He landed with the S-3 Vikings, flying with the Scouts out of PS-24 in Jacksonville, Florida. And eventually, as part of the sundown of the S-3 Viking program, he transitioned to the E-6B Mercury, where Chatty and I were fortunate enough to cross paths with. Commander Schrader's tours with the BQ community in the Mercury were impressive. He was the professional development officer, he was the safety officer, he was the maintenance officer. He eventually served with staff at Commander Naval Air Forces as the E-6 readiness officer. His tours have eventually touched every squadron in the Mercury community. He first started with BQ3, he followed on to BQ4, and now he is presently the commanding officer of BQ7, the fleet replacement squadron. But what the Navy bio failed to mention is all the new ones that those that get to serve with Commander Schrader and with Commander Schrader, Chatty and I both been able to experience, as long as many here in the audience. Commander Schrader believed that he could have an argument with his wife and win. I once saw him go to Burger King and order a Big Mac and get it. Despite Chatty's preponderance for talking and constant interruption, Commander Schrader has still successfully counted to infinity twice. So, with that, if you think I'm exaggerating at all for a second or a moment, consider this. I think it was back in April 2009, April 26th specifically, Commander Schrader and I were supposed to do a weather divert of the E-6 aircraft, save it from the destructive weather that was imminent in Oklahoma City. The flight was a little bit later in the morning, and so we had some time for pre-flight. I think I probably ate donuts and had coffee that morning and didn't do much else. Commander Schrader, with free time, he saw it as an opportunity to run into Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon, and he finished 6th overall. Absolutely amazing. So in wardrooms, in the squadron wardrooms, typically we refer to him as Captain America. He's the envy of every spouse worldwide. He's the man that everyone aspires to be. Without further ado, please, ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome for Commander Schrader.
Hey, so this is not traditional. Those of you who haven't seen the ceremony a number of times, they have a different, speaker introduces speaker. So I didn't really know what the rules were. But I assumed that the rules were you had to stick to the truth. So I guess that's out.
It's true, it's funny.
So here we go. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. Too kind as always. And man, the risk of being redundant, Zach and Ty nailed it. Man. I'm always impressed. I play the trumpet, not like that, right? But I tried, and I'm always impressed with people who have talent, musical or otherwise, clearly do, and smash your job, man, up here. So great job. Skipper, XO, and officers, chiefs, and sailors of the Lone Stars. Man, thanks for inviting me down here, inviting us down here to share your house with you. It looks beautiful, and what advantage I have here. I love staring at this airplane. So thanks for having us and letting me stand up here. Shadows and Ironmen and other former Tacamites that are joining us today. Thanks for making the trip down. Shows a lot of the impact that Chatty had on everybody's life. And then the family, man, Chrissy, Zach Ty again, Mr. and Mrs. Kilgore, Mr. and Mrs. Van Dusen, and then the family and friends. Whatever distance you came to get here, just being here is so special and completely appropriate as we celebrate 22 years of service for Scott and family. So, Scott, I'm honored that you asked me to come down here, and I just hope I can do it justice. I hope that I can speak on behalf of 22 years worth of people that have crossed paths with Scott, that have been influenced by, or who he has influenced and mentored throughout his naval career. Thanks. All right. So as it's often said when looking back, the years go fast, but the days go slow, which is true about this naval career as well. What we're honoring today, a career encompassing over 22 years of service to this country, is made up of days, single days. Every day, each day, the alarm set, the uniform on, and the day's mission at hand. Certainly some days are more memorable than others, but each brought its own significance and its own challenges. Some challenges surmounted successfully, and probably some not, but each contributed to an entire career and a monumental achievement. Day one was November 22nd, 1995, in Watertown, New York, when Scott raised his right hand, swore an oath to defend this great nation, and enlisted in the United States Navy. I'm pretty sure Seaman Kilgore didn't know what the future had in store, or ever pictured himself sitting on this stage and reported to Recruit Training Command in Great Lakes for Navy basic training, but the journey had certainly begun. And then on day 69, Scott graduated from boot camp. He first attended ETA school in Great Lakes, proceeded to SATCOM Technician C School in Fort Gordon, Georgia to learn his craft. After completion of training, Scott was about to fulfill the Navy's early 90s promise to take his life full speed ahead
and he had orders in hand to the Naval Computer and Telecommunications Station in Bahrain. Before he left, however, he had some important business to take care of stateside. With so much uncertainty before him, he knew one thing for sure. He had found the person he wanted to share his adventure with. And on day 690, he and Christy were married in October 1997. Appropriately welcoming him to the Navy, his first tour would be overseas and unaccompanied. So the very next month, he said goodbye to his new wife and began the highly important, although not always glamorous, work of a U.S. Navy sailor. Learning the ropes as an inexperienced electronics technician and a junior sailor, Scott also learned of an appealing but competitive opportunity to earn an officer commission through a program called Seaman to Admiral. He applied, but as is often the case with applications for these programs, success didn't come at the first attempt. Instead, in November 1998, young Petty Officer Kilgore transferred to Naples, Italy, where he would be assigned to, all right, I'm going to try this guy, Naval Computer and Telecommunications Area Master Station, Europe Central. Nailed it, that's what he said. Where he would embark on the second leg of his journey and be reunited with Christy. Gaining work experience and a little seniority, Scott continued to impress his supervisors, including Chief Frank Padilla, who is here today. Thank you, sir. Who took an interest and became an early mentor. In fact, Chief Padilla helped Scott identify and prepare an application to a program called Boost, a program working with Seaman to Admiral that was another path to college and a commission. Scott applied, and this time the selection board, recognizing his hard work and performance thus far, more importantly his solid character and future potential, made the right call and sent he and Christy on their way to Newport, Rhode Island, where Scott began the first step of his academic and officer training. Scott completed Boost, and on day 2,470, enrolled at the Penn State University. There, during an already busy 3 years, Scott and Christy grew their family. First when they welcomed Zach in May of 2003, and then Ty in March of 2005. Meanwhile, at work, he would challenge the rigorous academic program and engage in the professional development curriculum at the ROTC unit, all while cheering the Nittany Lions football team to an impressive 3-year record of 16 and 20. Solid. In the spring of 2005, ahead of schedule and in admirable fashion, Scott graduated with distinction and earned his degree in environmental systems engineering. At the same time, he was selected to become a naval aviator and was commissioned as an ensign in the United States Navy. He and Christy packed up their family of 4 and headed to Pensacola, Florida for flight training. Scott completed API and primary flight training in Pensacola before being selected to fly the E-6 Mercury. And if your experience was anything like mine, Scott, this is the first of what would be countless times you were asked by your family and friends what the Navy was doing in Oklahoma. Undeterred, Scott double-checked his orders. He confirmed his destination and headed to Vance Air Force Base in Enid, Oklahoma, to complete his undergraduate flight training and be awarded his Wings of Gold. Returning to a Navy squadron in February 2007, Scott reported to the Roughnecks of EQ-7, was introduced to the mighty Merc. Finally, on day 4,284, Scott joined the VQ-3 Ironman, where he returned to the operational Navy to answer his nation's call. Now, by any measure, his junior officer tour was off to a great start. As a third pilot or 3P on a Tacoma crew, Scott was responsible for arranging many of the logistics for the crew when they were at different airfields. But, as I mentioned earlier, some days were more successful than others. Some days you feel like a rock star 3P with a perfect flight plan, rooms at a nice hotel with Wi-Fi for the crew, and a rental car lined up. And some days, you don't feel like a rock star 3P. Some days you're at Naval Air Station Jacksonville, and you're driving your rental car out of the flight line with the aircraft commander, and you run out of gas. Stalling the vehicle in the middle of the access gate. And as you're stuck, you hear the increasing volume of sirens from emergency vehicles who arrive only to find their path obstructed by a Suzuki Swift from Enterprise Rent-A-Car, for example. And I'm told everyone was okay there. Emergency vehicles are doing a drill or something. So making a name for himself as an Ironman, he did all the right jobs and achieved every possible qualification. Progressing through the pilot ranks and achieving even the coveted designation of Mission Commander Evaluator, which is not given to even anyone except for those who are most qualified. But also while there, and I think we've discussed this already today, one of the most important things a young junior officer aviator can do is earn a call sign. And man, Scott, you nailed it. From the day it was conceived and uttered for the first time, Scott's new moniker, Chatty fit perfectly and stuck like glue. I can still remember a number of flight deck conversations lasting all of an 8-hour flight. And you probably remember the same, a few days of 53 safety when I think the first and last thing I said for the day was, "Good morning, Scott." Man, great days. Great days with Dan, with Chatty, and Dr. Drew Barker. Good times down at 53 safety. So now a successful first tour TACMO pilot, Chatty was again selected for a competitive assignment, this time to become a fleet replacement squadron instructor at BQ-7. Doing the Roughnecks proud, he made his mark on the next generations of TACMO aviators as he rose through the ranks to become the top instructor pilot in the community as the FRS pilot evaluator. In May of 2013, he departed the Roughnecks and the Oklahoma Navy to head to the USS George Bush, where he would finish his time in the regular Navy as a tactical action officer before being selected to join the FPS community and be assigned here to complete the final leg of the Lone Stars of the R-59. Quite a career. All right, bear with me. I'm a numbers guy, so it's going to be fun, but I'm going to do some math here. So my numbers, but I think they're pretty accurate. Let's look at Scott's career. So 1 in 14 Americans serve in the military in their lifetime. 1 in 29, roughly, applicants to Seaman to Admiral are selected. 1 in 5 naval officers are selected to be pilots upon commissioning. 1 in 7 TACMO pilots are selected to be instructors. Off to be a TAO on the boat. All right, 100% of people go to the boat. Whether they want to or not. No credit, Scott. And then finally, I'm pretty sure every pilot I know wants to go FTS. Let's call that 1 in 5. So if we add that up, the odds that Chatty is sitting here today, he follows his path and ends up in this seat, about 1 in 70,000. Astronomically low. But here's the thing, it's not a game of chance. It's a career, it's a profession in which performance is rewarded and character is rewarded. Leadership is rewarded. Chatty is sitting here today not because of chance, but because he is energetic and persistent, hardworking, thorough, and genuine. He cares about the Navy, our mission, and our people. And day in and day out, and each day and every day, it shows. Christy, Zach, and Todd, you know this man is your husband or your dad. I want you to see him today as we do. A dedicated naval officer, a skilled pilot, a co-worker, and a friend. A leader. A man who contributed to something bigger than all of us. A man who has made a difference in people's lives. A man who leaves a legacy in the U.S. Navy. We've had the distinct pleasure of serving with him over the past 22 years. We thank you for sharing him with us. All right, Scott, change of pace, but since I got the mic, I asked Christy if she and the boys had a message they wanted me to share with you today. And she did, and she sent these heartfelt words. We may complain a lot about your absences and all the birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays you have missed. We are proud of the work you do and your commitment to your country. You are setting a very fine example to our boys. A life that can break up so many families, we stood strong. We stuck together through good, the bad, and the distance. We supported one another, and we were happy through it all. Your commitment to provide for us helped us stay focused on getting through every detachment, deployment, and mission. While you proudly served and did your part away from home, the boys and I did our part at home. Today, this ceremony is a celebration of everything you have achieved over the last 22 and a half years, and everything we as a family have accomplished together to get to this point. I am so proud of you. I am so proud of our boys. I am so proud of us. 22 years, we did it. Congratulations, we love you. So here we are, Scott, day 8,131. A career of dedicated service, a grateful nation. And Chatty, Scott, congratulations. Thank you, fair winds and following seas.
Lieutenant Commander Kilgore, front and center. Would the guests please rise? Military members, up 10, hook! Commander Fellini will now present Lieutenant Commander Kilgore with an end of tour award. Attention to award. This is to certify that the Secretary of the Navy has awarded the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, Gold Star in lieu of third award, to Lieutenant Commander Scott O. Kilgore, United States Navy, for meritorious service as Assistant Operations Officer at Fleet Logistics Support Squadron 5-9 from February 2015 to February 2018. Lieutenant Commander Kilgore led 20 personnel in the planning and execution of 5,170 mishap-free flight hours while transporting over 69,000 passengers and 2.5 million pounds of cargo. Due to his exceptional leadership, BR-59 received outstanding scores on the 2017 Fleet Logistics Support Wing Naval Air Training and Operating Procedures Unit Evaluation, with a number of the programs under his guidance recognized as having the best practices in the fleet. Lieutenant Commander Kilgore's distinctive accomplishments, unrelenting perseverance, and tireless devotion to duty highlight a 22-year career and were in keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. At ease. In addition to the Tour Award, Lieutenant Commander Kilgore has received myriad letters of congratulations and commendation, notably from Presidents Trump, President Obama, President George W. Bush, President Clinton, President Herbert Walker Bush, and Governor Greg Abbott, making him an honorary Texas Admiral. Please be seated. Escorts, please escort Lieutenant Commander Kilgore's wife and children to the stage. Commander Fellini will now present a letter of appreciation to Lieutenant Commander Kilgore's wife, Christy. To all you who see these presents, greetings. To Christine L. Kilgore, by the authority vested in me, it is my pleasure to express the grateful appreciation of the United States Navy to you for your unselfish, patriotic, and devoted service during your husband's military career. Your unfailing support and understanding help immeasurably to make possible your husband's lasting contribution to the nation. Given this 24th day of February 2018, signed, P.M. Fellini, Commander, United States Navy. Commander Fellini will now present letters of appreciation to Lieutenant Commander Kilgore's sons, Zachary and Ty. To Zachary Kilgore, by the authority vested in me, it is my great honor to express the sincere appreciation of the United States Navy to you for your enduring many long separations from your father as he proudly served our country. He routinely answered the call of duty, frequently preventing him from being there when you needed him. You should know that your father's work is often exhausting and always challenging. He would have much preferred to be at home with you, but his tireless dedication and support of our country was vitally important in your future, and with his service to the Navy now complete, he is committed to spending more quality time with you in the future. Given this 24th day of February 2018, T.M. Fellini, Commanding Officer. Escorts, please escort Lieutenant Commander Kilgore's family back to their seat when they're done with pictures. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to present Lieutenant Commander Scott Kilgore, United States Navy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And now the truth. I'm not getting any younger. All right. Distinguished guests, skippers, all my beloved family, friends, and my shipmates, I would like to extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you today. Many of you have traveled very far to be here today. A lot of folks over here really, really far. Each and every one of you have taken precious, valuable time out of your busy lives to be here today. You spent dollars that you've worked hard to earn to be here today to watch me quit my job. That's what my brother Carl called it, and that's about sums it up. To honor myself, my wonderful wife, Christy, and our amazing boys, our sons, we're just present here today, and I sincerely thank you for being here. With all my heart, I thank you. My buddy Kirby, where you at? There he is. He texted me this morning and told me not to cry like a little, he told me not to cry because he was going to be here watching and laughing. So if I get a little emotional, I'm just going to remind myself, Kirby's watching. Kirby's watching. All right. So as many of you know from spending time with me or working with me, I can ramble on and on. In fact, I have a call sign to talk about that right from this fact, Chatty. So to not get lost, to stick to the point, to make sure I don't forget anything, and to expedite this portion of the ceremony, I prepared a brief outline to speak from, and like all good programs in the Navy, I put it in a binder, but it's not a binder, it's not a program. Certainly not one that'll pass an inspection. So. Get started here. All right, we should be out of here by evening colors. That's in a couple hours, 3 or 4. Seriously though, I'm honored that you have all joined me on this significant day in my family's life. We're here to honor my 22 years of service, is what we say, but really I want to honor each and every one of you. Kirby's blessing. Kirby's blessing. Because nobody makes it here alone, not at all. I didn't know where I wanted to go with my life, and here I am, and it's because people out here helped me get here. Without the love and support, help of mentors, fellowship and leadership of family, friends and shipmates, I wouldn't be here today. So how did I get here? I'm going to assume that most of you all know the basics and skip past the beginning and move into my childhood. There are children here, folks. All right. And I don't know what ages are teaching that, so let's just skip through that and move on to childhood. All right. Mom and Dad, you guys stand up for a second, please. All my brothers and sisters, please stand up for a second, please. All right. All the brothers and sisters stand up for a second, please. All right. That's good. And we're missing, my sister Chris is not here right now as well. So, thanks. Yeah. Good. So I was one of 8 kids growing up. 1 girl, 4 boys in a row, and then 3 more girls to round it all out. Obviously my folks had their hands full. Our house was busy, but my mom and dad, they always provided unconditional love for everybody. Carrie's got her eyes on me. And a steadfast example of hard work and dedication to family, church, and community. I can't imagine the stress and hardship associated with raising 8 children, but he did as gracefully as I can imagine anyone could. When I struck off into the Navy, I was striking off with confidence and a work ethic that would help bring me to this place on this day, thanks to the example you guys set for me. Thank you so much. My brothers and sisters were, of course, a powerful influence as well. We were competitive with each other, and that competitive spirit drove each of us to be pretty successful to this point in our lives in our own ways. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, but today we're doing pretty well. I probably didn't think so at the time, but I'm truly blessed to have had such a large family growing up. When we get together today, we have so much fun. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you. Perfect. Man, keep your eyes on me. Roger and Gloria Van Dusen, my in-laws. Raise your hand, please. Thank you. Some people have great relationships with their in-laws. Some people do not. But for me, from very early on, when I started dating Christy in high school, these two welcomed me into their home and made me feel like an adopted son. They being dairy farmers, I helped with chores from time to time, and I gained another great example of hard work and integrity. They have been ardent supporters of mine throughout my relationship with Christy and throughout my naval career, and I am thankful that I do really indeed love my in-laws. So thank you for being here today. My brother-in-law Joe and his family were able to make it here today. They came in, they live up here in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Roger and Gloria live up here in Ottawa as well, so they're all coming pretty far. They were able to make it here today as well. I can't thank him enough for being another brother to me throughout the years, starting in high school and continuing on through the day. That's a story in and of itself, but he actually is the one that introduced me to his sister. So I don't know if he is happy about that now or not. Okay. Thank you. So moving on into the Navy, joining the Navy. That was a decision I made. I think I had a feeling of service and wanted to be in the Navy for quite a while as I was growing up. I read a lot of books. My dad had a history of serving in Vietnam. It kind of sparked a curiosity in me. And like I said, I read a lot of different books that I got my hands on about military service. And so I kind of had an idea that's probably what I wanted to do, but I wasn't sure. And when I was coming up on graduating high school, having probably enjoyed one too many beers as a young guy, I was like, yeah, I definitely going to try the Navy. Probably what's available for me right now. So I did, but then once you're in the Navy, you need somebody to help you along and help you figure it all out. And I've had several positive influences during my time in the Navy. There have been a few that stood out as mentors and have been driving forces in my career and put me here today. Sure, there you are. Oh, your size, good. Size is keeping his eyes on you. Chief Frank Padilla probably doesn't know, but he's one of those mentors. He's here today. I appreciate you being here. More than you know. Don't tell a funny story real quick. I'm going to get sidetracked. I apologize. I'm going to tell a funny story real quick. Alright, so I was transferring to Naples, Italy, mid-10th year, and I was going from Bahrain, and then I went home for 30 days, and I was going to Naples. And there was a whole government shutdown thing that messed up flights going into Naples. All the Space A MAX flights that they were doing overseas. And so I wasn't sure I was going to get there. We had to run down to Norfolk and get it all figured out. And I was young and I was near broke, didn't know how anything works, pre-cell phones, all that kind of stuff. So I sent my mom, I said, hey mom, look, here's this phone number. Here's the phone number to call. Here's the person that should be on the other end. You call and give them updates about where we're going, where we're at, where we're supposed to be, what flight number we're on, all that kind of good stuff. Sure, I'll take care of that because she's mom, she's going to do it. So make sure I get somewhere safe. So anyway, we get there, and my sponsor's there, picks me up, and everything's good. We get back to the hotel, get some sleep as much as we could. Next day, he comes, picks us up, takes us to the squad, to base for the first time, the place we're going to work to check in and out everybody. So we show up and shaking hands with Chief. He's passed first class, ET1 video at the time. We're shaking hands, saying hi, and kind of getting to know each other a little bit. And then, what was the name of that CEC that worked out there when I first showed up? Do you remember his name? Don't worry about it, not a big deal. But anyway, so he looked, I don't remember his name either, but it's funny, I love the dude. He walked up on deck, coming out, because they took care of all our generators and all that kind of stuff. And he said, he walks up on deck, and we're all standing around talking, and he sees my name tag and says, Kilgore. And he says, Scotty! Scotty! Scotty Kilgore! How's mom? How's mom, Scott? Whoa, what's going on here? This is weird. I'm uncomfortable with this. So, how's mom, Scott? How's mom? Mom's good. Turns out, when you kept calling over and over again, this was the chief. It was the squadron duty officer, the command duty officer at the time. It's a 24-hour watch. You stay at work and you sleep in the bunk room, and the phone's right there, and you kept calling him, waking him up. And it was great. So I get there, and now every time he came to work, he walked up on deck, Scotty! Scotty, where's mom? How's mom? How's mom doing, Scotty? It was the best 2.5-year running joke I think we had going for a while there. I really enjoyed that one. But anyway, Chief Padilla, he's one of those mentors. He's here today. I checked into the Quiet SATCOM facility in Lago Padre, Italy, after being in Bahrain. It's north of Naples in January '99. The Quiet SATCOM facility got loud really quick as the conflict in Kosovo kicked off. And Chief Padilla, he entrusted me with a great deal of responsibility to support that effort. I remember when the phone call came through, I was just a regular watchstander, and I happened to be on the day rotation. And they called and they said, hey, I watched the news, I knew there was stuff going on, but I wasn't paying a lot of attention. And he said, hey, you guys have some ground mobile forces equipment there that maybe we could use to support some missions and stuff? Like, you know what, I'm brand new here, let me go get the LPO, somebody's been here a while, and talk about that. About 15 minutes later, he walks up on deck and goes, do you know anything about this stuff? And it was ground mobile forces equipment we use all the time in Bahrain, where I just come from. And so I knew how to use it. He says, all right, get the stuff up and running. And by the end of the day, he said, you're coming back tomorrow, you're now a day worker, and you're going to be running, try to get the stuff up and working. And there's stuff on the horizon, and we'll get it sorted out. Try to get the stuff up and running. And anyway, so that was kind of the impetus, that I happened to be in the right place at the right time, where the right things were happening. All luck of the draw, but luckily I was prepared for the moment. And anyway, so I was really happy with the way that turned out. I got, like I said, really lucky. But the bottom line is, with all those successes and stuff that came down the line, it came recognition. It wasn't required, but the Chief Padilla worked to provide. I received awards, commendations, attaboys for the work I did, for the work that we were all doing. There was a lot of work going on. A lot of us got awards and attaboys and all that kind of stuff. But it's because Chief Padilla understood the importance of motivating his sailors and recognizing them for their hard work. It was that recognition, the job satisfaction, and leadership that he delivered that got me thinking that the Navy could be a way of life for me. I knew I wanted a degree, so I started taking college courses with his encouragement. He put his signature on the bottom of every request to take another college course. Then I started looking into commissioning programs with his encouragement. I applied to the original State 21 program. It only takes 50 sailors a year. It's a bit of a reward program for people that have been pretty successful at sea. I was not a seagoing sailor at the time. And I was still on my first enlistment, so that wasn't going to meet me. But a little later on, after I didn't get selected for that program, which is 2 weeks before the deadline to apply, Chief Padilla walked up on the watch floor, he handed me a naval message announcing a new officer program that was coming down the line, and he said, get your application going, put this thing together. And the rest is history. So, Chief Padilla, you're the reason I'm standing here today. You don't know it. You don't know it. You may not think it, but you're the reason I'm here. Thank you. I can say his wife Kat's here as well. So I'm going to break this up a little bit because it's getting heavy for me too. But his wife Kat's here today, and she was on the USS LaSalle, which was stationed up in Gaeta, which is just about an hour north. And so Chief was the boss. He was the guy that came along and told us what to do all the time. He gave us all the marching orders and stuff. Fun guy, but still the boss. And then she'd come down at the end of, like, on a Friday or whatever, if she didn't have duty that weekend, she'd drive down to get Frank at work before they went home for the weekend. And she'd stop up there, and she was like, Mom's showing up. So it was like good cop, bad cop. So, all right, we're sick of dad, Mom's here. So she was always fun to hang out with. It was awesome. So those are some fun times. I really enjoyed those nice, wonderful days. Later in the evening when it started to get cool, we all go hang out and smoke decks, chatting about this stuff. That was fun. But the reality is I'm grateful for everything you did for me, because I was probably a 6-year or 9-year sailor, and because of your motivation for here today. So thank you. Let's see. Cutter Flight School is assigned to the Navy's Take Charge and Move Out tactical mission. That was a great tour for a junior officer. Imagine, if you will, being 23, 24, 25, 26, something along those lines, and being in command of an airplane and crew that literally ensures the enemy doesn't fire off its nuclear missile jet. That's literally what goes on if you break it down to what it is. Born in the early days of the Cold War, the TACAMO mission was part of the mutually assured destruction nuclear concept of operations. They fired their missiles. TACAMO existed to survive the first strike and ensure that our survivable nuclear forces got the message to fire our missiles and win a nuclear conflict. That's a hell of a responsibility for a young officer, and it's a hell of a place to mature. But that's the way the military does it. They entrust great responsibility to chosen few. But in that job, fortunately, I was surrounded by superstar brothers and sisters. Many of them are here today. Raise your hand if you're TACAMO. So thank you for showing up today. You guys came out pretty far. I appreciate it. Superstar brothers and sisters, great examples, and peers alike to help me along the way. In the hardships of our shared responsibilities, we suffer together, namely of beer deprivation. You can't drink when you're on call to defend the free world from the peril for nuclear war, but we made it work. It was fun. We really did have a good time. Made great memories and made lifelong friends, and I thank you guys for that. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate all the fun and all the camaraderie throughout the years. TACAMO was also where I met Dan and Jim. So Dan was a great friend, and his humor is, of course, legendary to everybody that knows him. Flying with him and working with him at VQ3 and VQ7, I was able to see a great example of just common sense decision making at its finest. There's a lot of stupidity out there, folks. He is not in that mindset. Dan also looked out for me a few times when no one else did, whether it was having my back on the flight deck or making sure I was home for my son's birthday party. Dan applied his, approach to the situation and got stuff done. As Stack Marshall would say, I am truly blessed to have you as a friend and have you here today to celebrate with me. Thanks for coming out and saying the words. Introduced Jim, Bill, I want to keep it light, because I don't want to be a mess. Jim was a fellow JO, but of course the older, wiser, more experienced JO. We all looked up to him. He was a hero in the wardroom. I know, even the CEOs of Commodore looked up to him. They still do. We worked together and flew together, and then later I worked for Jim in the safety office. He's a great friend, mentor, and leader. He's responsible for my promotion to lieutenant commander. At a time when the Navy was leaving lots of people on the floor, anyone who knows anything knows that in my line of work, you got a certain number of jobs you got to do, and you got a certain number of tickets to get right along the way to make it to the next level. And if you get those things, they're like, yeah, you're good, you're golden, you're gonna make it. Well, when it was my turn to screen for lieutenant commander, they left 65 guys that had the tickets they needed to get to the next level on the floor. So at a time when the Navy was leaving lots of great people on the floor, I was promoted because Jim took the time and put forth the energy to fight for me when I was a young lieutenant. In my checkout interview from VP3, my fit rep read, Mission Commander at Tiger. Like you talked about, it's a department qualification, not too many JOs get. He made that happen. And when I asked him about it, he nonchalantly stated, he earned it. Wow, that went. And it's like not even mentioned again. They're like, hey, we're done here. Carry on. So I don't know about that, but I do know that I'm here today with you as well. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. And next to the boat, I mean, the boat's not awesome. But it's something you got to endure. And at this point now, when people are like, oh, you served a career in the Navy? What boat were you on? No, I haven't answered. So that's good. So I was a tactical action officer on board the USS George H.W. Bush, CVN 77. So much life I can't get back, but the reality is, it was an interesting tour. I saw a lot of neat stuff. Imagine, if you will, drinking beer, hitting golf balls, throwing frisbees, and flying kites on the flight deck of an aircraft carrier. Well, just off the bow, there are Iranian intelligence boats and fast movers nearby checking us out. Nothing to see here, folks, just a little freedom at work. That's the USS George H.W. Bush's motto, freedom at work. Just a little freedom at work here, guys. It's a little odd, but it's a good message to send. America knows how to work hard and play hard. Even in the middle of the Persian Gulf, we're out there taking a day for here. And I'm sure we still could have gotten the winter time off. Anybody out there hacking their clock? Are we doing good? I think we're still on track for colors. All right, so that brings me here. What a fun last tour this has been. The Navy entrusted me to take one of those planes right there and a crew of pilots and air crewmen, loaded up with sailors and supplies, and fly it around the world. I've been to some interesting places and seen some interesting things. I really liked Helsinki, Finland. There's a lot of people in port. Literally, there were sailors walking down the street with chicks in their arms. It was hilarious. I mean, they weren't American sailors. I mean, they wouldn't be allowed. They're not even allowed out on the boat in their uniform. But it was great to see that old school stuff. That was awesome. So I've been to some interesting places and seen some interesting things, but the people here are what rounded out my Navy experience. They really did. The sailors here are awesome and fun and interesting mix of active and reserve. The wardroom was a fun place with officers from a mix of platforms. We always kept it light and fun, and I'm surprised I didn't get fired when I was working with Gabe. Gabe, where you at? Yeah, I don't even know why they let us work together. That was really bad, and we're lucky. All right. It was great to come to work and mix it up with all these folks. I made a lifelong friends that I'll be going out to lunch with, whenever, like maybe, I don't know, next week. I just live up the road, I don't go anywhere. So, I'll call you. All right. And so I want to say some other thank yous. All right, standing in the back, folks, we got a bunch of sailors. They've been standing this whole time. And so I need to shorten it up for these guys. Everything you see here today, all the wonderful display, everything set up the way it is work they did. And some of these guys know me pretty well. Some of them don't really know me at all. Maybe some of them know of me, but they did it anyway because they know how to honor a ship. And they took the time to do this. So thank you to all the sailors that are making this stuff work. Thank you to all the sailors out there that get the job done day in and day out. I appreciate it so much. Skipper, thank you for giving me your squadron for today. Appreciate it. Awesome. All right, now on to, all right, here we go. Kirby, keep an eye on it. All right. Jack and Ty. Kirby, back me up. You guys were born into this life, all right? And you've handled it like champs. Had some amazing access to some amazing things. You've climbed all over airplanes. Like you own them. You've flown simulators, like big old expensive simulators. You run around an aircraft carrier like you own it. Literally up and down ladders and running up and down the flight deck and in and out of the wardroom and hangar bay, just like you own the thing. And that's cool because that's what we've had over the last 22 years, access. That access to pretty cool stuff. Well, that access is closing up, all right, closing up shop and moving on to other things. But you've endured a lot, all right? I'm so very proud of the young man you are becoming. I look forward to the future that lays out ahead of us. Thank you for being the awesome sons you are. I'm blessed and grateful each and every day for you two. You complete the life your mother and I were meant to have together. Thank you so much. Christy, what do I have to say is the one that's provided me with the love, support, motivation, and did I say love? To be standing here today. There is not a success that I have that wasn't ours, because I would not accomplish anything without all that you've given me. I love you more and more each day. I'm ready to walk away from all this and go home to last one last time. Thank you all so much for being here today to show this day for family. It means so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think all of this is coming out here.
We now have a special presentation by Angeliera to Christie, Chatty Cathy's wife.
Silent Taylor. That's great to call that. Appreciate it. I wear no uniform, no blues or greens, yet I stand in the ranks that are rarely seen. I have no ranks, whose I do not give. However, the military world is where I live. No chain of command or orders I do not receive. The oath my husband honors has values I believe. My husband is a sailor, courageous and blessed. Together we serve in the spirit of selflessness. Behind the lines, I serve because this country is free. Our family made a sacrifice. Alongside my husband, we the God be blessed with his first excellence, protecting the silent links, moving the media.
One of an officer's most prized possessions is the national ensign, the flag of the United States of America. Our national ensign will now be presented to Lieutenant Commander Kilgore in a ceremony known as the passing of the flag. Flag detail. Post.
Forward, march. Detail. Halt. Out. Face.
I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over great institutes of learning. I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am proud. When I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is a little higher, my colors a little truer. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am saluted, I am revered. I am loved, and I am feared. I have fought every battle of every war for more than 200 years. Gettysburg, Shiloh, Appomattox, San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, the Argonne Forest, Anzio, Rome, the beaches of Normandy, the deserts of Africa, the cane fields of the Philippines, the rice paddies and jungles of Guam, Okinawa, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, and a score of places long forgotten by all but those who were with me. I was there. I led my soldiers. I followed them. I watched over them. They loved me. I was on a small hill at Iwo Jima. I was dirty, battle-worn, and tired. But my soldiers cheered me, and I was proud. I have been soiled, burnt, torn, and trampled on the streets of countries I have helped set free. It does not hurt, for I am invincible. I have slipped the bonds of earth and stand watch over the uncharted new frontiers of space from my vantage point on the moon. I have been silent witness to all of America's finest hours. But my finest hour comes when I am torn into strips to be used for bandages, for my wounded comrades on the field of battle, when I fly at half-mast to honor my soldiers, and when I lie in the trembling arms of a grieving mother at the graveside of her fallen son. I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Dear God, long may I wave. Flag detail. Oath.
Forward, march.
Lieutenant Commander Kilgore will now present the national ensign to his father, Patrick, to warmly welcome him home and thank him for his service during Vietnam. The sacrifices made in the subsequent national healing that took place after that war ensured that America's service members can always return home with their heads held high, receiving the thanks of a grateful nation. the audience please rise as I read Lieutenant Commander Kilgore's retirement certificate. Military, attend. From ComNav PERSCOM, Millington, Tennessee, official retirement orders for Lieutenant Commander Scott O. Kilgore, United States Navy. Your request to be transferred to the retired list is approved by the Secretary of the Navy, effective 1 March 2018. You will be transferred to the retired list with the grade of Lieutenant Commander and all the retired pay and privileges thereof. Proceed to your home of selection. Regard yourself relieved of all active duty, effective at midnight on day of departure. Bravo Zulu, and fair winds and following seas on your dedicated service to your country. At ease, and you may be seated. Recall again that picture in your mind. A ship sailing gracefully and silently into a harbor. The anchor is set. The sails are furled. The crew prepares the ship for a ceremony and shifts to dress uniform. At the appointed hour, the word is passed. All hands on deck. Side boys, stand to hoist away. Bosun, stand by the call. The time has come for another shipmate to retire and go ashore. For 22 years, this sailor has stood the watch. While some of us were in our bunks at night, this sailor stood the watch. While some of us were in school learning our trade, this shipmate stood the watch. Yes, even before some of us were born into this world, this shipmate stood the watch. In those years when the storm clouds of war were seen brewing on the horizon of history, this shipmate stood the watch. Many times he would cast an eye ashore and see his family standing there needing his guidance and help, needing that hand to hold during the hard times, but still he stood the watch. He stood the watch for 20 years. He stood the watch so that we, our families, and our fellow countrymen can sleep soundly and safely each and every night, knowing that this sailor stood the watch. Today we are here to say, shipmate, the watch stands relieved. Relieved by those you have led, those you have guided, and those you have trained. To the modern sailor, the custom of piping the side, a heritage from the British Navy, seems one of the strangest of all naval customs. It originated in the days of sail, when captains visited one another at sea and were hoisted on board in a net or basket if the weather was too rough to permit the use of ladders. The officer of the deck ordinarily summoned from the crew several hands to assist the visitor in making the landing on the deck. If he were young, a lieutenant perhaps, only 2 men were required to help him. If older, a commander perhaps, having increased his girth, he might require 4. If, however, he happened to be a captain or admiral, he may be required 6 or 8 to enable him to secure stable footing as the years of service have caught up with him. Thus there came about a custom of having side boys to meet officers. When the custom became a regulation courtesy, the side was similarly attended upon their departure. This tradition has now become the farewell to a shipmate going ashore for the final time. Bosun, stand by to pipe the side, shipmate going ashore. Lieutenant Commander Kilgore will now request permission to go ashore for the last time. Lieutenant Commander, United States Navy, retired, departed. Will all military members please fall out to the sides with the side boys to honor Lieutenant Commander Kilgore and his family as they depart one final time. Lieutenant Commander, United States Navy retired, wife and family departing. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the official portion of the retirement ceremony. Please join me in a final round of applause for Lieutenant Commander, retired, Kilgore, family. Thank you for taking part in the ceremony. In this honor tradition, now take out your airplanes and buzz the tower as we send the Kilgores off with one last flyby.